Hello guys, this is Mustafa and I wanted to present to you my MVP for Google Gemini Long Context Competition. The idea comes straight from my job where I needed to debug a multi-threaded application using the log files. The log files were quite long and entangled. This also happens with Docker containers and embedded systems too. So what I do in these scenarios usually is to write down a draft, double check it with the evidence. If something doesn't check out, I change the draft and double check again and iterate. So the closest thing to doing that in LLMs would be tree of sorts, and one little detail is that I used depth first search, which needs quite fewer evaluations to reach the final answer. You can read the other detail in my notebook. Uh, Here I should say shout out to Google because of their free trial. I could write down this whole notebook and test it out without needing to pay anything. And as you can see, I'm using the Google Generative AI SDK too because it was pretty comprehensive and I picked it up very fast and wrote down this whole notebook in a single day. And another great thing that Google gives you is the Google AI Studio, which is like a playground for Gemini models. As you can see, I wrote down the system prompts and the logs I wanted it analyzed and the process and test it out here first before moving to the code. And you can set the temperature, the top P, the stopword, and everything you might need in the code here too before getting into the details. For the evaluation, I also used the response schema, which makes it quite easier to parse what LLM is trying to say. And for that, I also used this schema editor here, which lets you choose the fields and make them mandatory or arrays, and it just gives you a JSON file. You paste it here, and it works like a charm. So my application uses the smaller Flash model, even though the Pro model is great when you need extensive knowledge for doing some stuff. For this, looking at the log and trying out different events, the Flash model works pretty great. And as you can see, because the log files are long and similar in all the prompts, I used context caching, which reduced the price drastically. And it came down to a single pass of the Pro model. Of course, you shouldn't use the single pass of Pro model because you wouldn't submit your first draft to your professor, even though it might be great. You should do it in an iterative fashion. The rest of the code is about how I generated dynamic prompts based on the problem and the log files, and I implemented the DFS search. So thank you for your time and attention.